Greetings, this is Cascade from TEPc S7E11 of the Sigma Nation Cluster, and you are listening to the Escape Pod. 1, 2, 3, 4, cast. This show was recorded in front of a live Twitch audience. Take it away, boys.
One is a Grand Arena specialist from the UK. The other is a territory battle tactician from the US. Together, there are no signs of intelligent life on board. But with both having decades of hosting experience under their belt, the one thing we are sure of is you will be entertained. This is the Escape Pod Cast, a weekly look into the mobile game Star Wars: Galaxy of Heroes. Live from the Nerdy Network studios of Yavin 4, here are your hosts, Neil Andrew Eyre and Paul Anthony.
Coming up on this week's edition of the Escape Pod Cast.
Paul, we were supposed to start the bi-weekly show this week, not last week.
I know some things came up. I wasn't able to make that happen. I apologize to you and the listeners.
Well, at least we got you back.
I mean, is that a good thing or a bad thing?
They put a new ship in the game.
Oh, okay. Yes, another unit that I could care less about, Neil.
Still with the Conquest hate.
No, not hate. It honestly, at this point, it's just pure grade A apathy.
We'll cover the kit and our thoughts. Meanwhile, Thad looks to find some lore about it in his segment.
We also make an announcement about the off weeks that are...
Just go ahead and make it now. Make it now.
Okay, fine. On the off weeks between the Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes shows, we have found you something to keep you interested.
Starting next week, the Escape Podcast, Marvel Strike Force Edition, will begin to air when we are not on the air.
The second and fourth Fridays will be them. Meanwhile, we'll take the first and third.
And the hosts of the show will be our special guests, Bones Flair and Sephironis.
A new Dickie and the Noob and Patreon's Choice is coming up as always as well.
All this and breaking news as and if it happens.
Right here on the Escape Pod Cast.
The Escape Pod Cast News.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of the Escape Podcast. I'm your host, the Nev, and as always, I'm joined by my hetero life partner, Paul. Paul, how are you doing today?
I'm surprised you didn't elongate the cast there for a moment. What? You know, you just said it.
I just said it. I've got to keep you on your toes. You know,
I'm doing okay.
Can't be too predictable.
Yeah, after a well-needed mental health week off, we are back. Take care of your mental health, people. If you need to, it's okay to take a break, to say something. So there you go.
Yes, sir.
All right, Bob, how's it going?
It's good, my friend. Just chilling. Same old. Swuggling and Marvel Strike Forcing and all that fun stuff. How you guys been?
Doing all right. Nev, what was your week like, man?
I'm not happy. I was really, really annoyed, actually. I got promoted from Erodium to Kyber, and I'm not pleased. I'm just not. I'm very, very unhappy. I go out of my way to do nothing, right, and deliberately miss rounds to not do well because I don't care about GAC anymore. And it promotes me, not just my main account, but my alt account, and I do even less on my alt account than I do on my main account. And it's like, oh, you're in Kyber 5, and I'm like, no, because that means I've got to do 3 fleet, and I've got to do it, and I don't want to do all of that. I like, so yeah, I'm not. It wasn't a good week. It wasn't a good week seeing myself promote to Kyber 5 at the beginning of it. So I'm a little bit annoyed at that. That's frustrating. That's annoyed the crap out of me because now I have to waste more time playing a mode I don't care about anymore.
But aren't you the GA Center, co-host?
My apathy for the game is too strong.
It's
My apathy for all Star Wars is just too strong. There's just
you're complaining.
I'm hoping that when Ahsoka drops, that it cures my apathy, but it just there's nothing there at the moment. I'm just
we
like
need some Mando.
See, I'm back on the upswing.
I already like Mando, so that's not gonna cure my apathy. I already like Mando. I need something new. You know, I need something. I just need something new. There's just too. Look, there's loads of stuff going on at the moment, like TV wise, and there are some interesting things happening. But it's like, is it too little, too late? It's not just Star Wars. Look at Star Trek and look at Doctor Who. I mean, they're that desperate to get people back, you know, to bring back all the apathetic Doctor Who viewers, because the Doctor Who kind of lost me after Peter Capaldi. I like Peter Capaldi. I think Peter Capaldi's an excellent actor, and I really thought he was going to make a good Doctor. But the story, he just didn't have the ability to, you know, save it from a story perspective. So what do they do? They've got rid of the latest Doctor, and they're bringing back David Tennant. It's like, you know.
For 3 episodes, Neil.
3 episodes, and I'm thinking to myself, because they brought back the original writers from that Tennant era, and everyone's like, okay, so we know that good writers are coming back. Can they write some good stuff for whoever the new Doctor's going to be? And then they bring David Tennant back for 3, but he's only coming back for 3, and they've already said who the Doctor is that's going to be after that. So it's like, we're giving you a taste of what you actually want, and then we're going to take it away and give you what we want. So it's like, okay.
Well,
and have you heard? And the other thing, the Star Trek thing,
Okay, there's a Star Trek thing while we're doing the Star Wars show. Go ahead.
Yeah, and there's a Star Trek. The Star Trek thing as well is even more hilarious, because it's like they're bringing back the entire TNG cast for season 3 of Picard, and nobody knows about it. Why does nobody know about it? Because people are too apathetic for the new Star Trek stuff that's coming out. It's like people.
Okay, and you know what? There's people who are, and there's people who are not as well. Just because, you know, that's the problem with the internet, in my opinion, is, you know, if there are more than one person saying the word people means 2 or more, plural. So, well, no, yes, you could say people, but some people...
Two would be a couple of people. You could get a couple of people would be 2. A few people would be 3. People is everything after 4. Everything after 4.
Okay,
everything
after 4. There's 5 people in a room, and they all agree. All of a sudden, when you say people are saying this, yes, you're right. That one room over there is saying it.
So, but yeah, man. No, it's like if they'd done that earlier in Picard, because we got a little taste with Riker, and it's like, come on, we want the come on, you can call the show Picard all you like, but we want the TNG crew back, bring them back, and it's like they're bringing them back, and it's like, should have done it earlier, should have done it sooner.
That's cool. They're coming back though. I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, I mean, it'd be interesting to see what happens. I'm just curious. I'm just curious about, you know, curious about the Star Wars stuff, because obviously the next Star Wars product, the next Disney Star Wars product is Bad Batch.
Well, okay,
in January,
but they have to finish Andor, which I think the game is waiting for, you know, because there's not a lot of news right now. They're waiting for Andor to finish before they go, okay, here you go. Now you can have Andy Serkis inside your game. You can have, you know, you can have a boot-wearing Imperial officer in your game.
Well, I mean, yeah, but we thought that when they brought out the Book of Boba, didn't we? That we thought, oh, here's some TV content, and they could push some product on the video games using the characters from the Book of Boba, but they didn't really give us a lot, did they? We thought we were going to get more from Mando, but we didn't. So yeah, it would be nice to see.
Yeah, because people, and I've got the air quotes going here, because people got all upset over the Vespa crew, you know?
Trash.
We probably could have had
Oh, the mods,
Thundercats in the mods. Yes.
Oh God, yeah, no, the five.
No.
Oh yeah, no, that
No.
it would have been, yeah, it would have
To
been the
some
ultimate.
people, but there are
Just-
also
just say-
other people that still.
You just want just come out and say that you want the sisters in the game. Just come out and say that you want you want the sisters in the game, don't you? You do. You want those episode 5, 6, and 7, 8 characters and the characters that were in that one-off episode from the Bad Batch, the Martell sisters. That's who you really want in the game. you don't want you don't want the mod gang. You want the Martell sisters, don't you?
Martez, not Martell.
Martell,
does.
Martez, whatever. They're that forgettable.
Obviously not, because you remember them.
Well, no, because I didn't remember their name. You had to correct me because I couldn't remember their name.
You remember
I
the
will
name,
say
but
that
you knew who I was talking about.
it'd be nice to it would be nice to get here's the thing. What would they class them as? Would they give them the Rogue One tag if they brought them from the Andor show? What would they get? What tag would characters from Andor get?
I'm surprised we haven't
Maybe-
got Saw Gerrera yet.
And would they have synergy with Rogue One characters?
Probably they would actually likely morph a tag instead of saying, pre-rebellion or something like that.
Oh, and that's a good point as well. The did you see the Red 5 post
From Ultra,
on
yeah,
the
I mean,
forum from Ultra?
that's something that you want to get into the drama of the forums to kick off the show, or do we want to talk
Let's
about
talk
the
about
kit?
it. I want to talk about it. Let's talk about the drama.
Let's
We
talk
love
about
drama.
the drama because I mean, let's be honest. Let's be honest about the ship. I mean, come on, nobody cares. No one cares.
I care about the
there's
ship.
There's only a handful of people that have got the Grand Inquisitor. There are people looking at this going, "Oh my God, this is a conquest reward."
There's 4,000 people
gonna
that
say
have.
that.
So, by
Yeah.
the way, there's people, and they number in the 4,000 that would give a crap, and the people that are ready to get Grand Inquisitor without putting too much into it,
And they said December,
which
when
is
they'll be
coming in
around.
December, which is before you would actually feasibly be able to unlock the ship during Conquest in December.
I'm just mildly concerned that they do something like they bring the ship raid out next year and say, "Oh, by the way, you need this ship," and it's like
It's
so
going to
I need
happen.
This ship at 7 stars. That would be so annoying.
They're gonna
That would
do
be
that.
Horrible.
They're
Would be
gonna do that.
horrible. Not that you need it, but that it's really, really good in the. It's going to be a really, really important ship in the raid because it's going to do something awesome. So yeah, be interesting.
So
Are
drama
there
or
any
the
of-
shit?
are there any of our 25 viewers in that 4K that are
Live
excited for that shit?
viewers.
Live viewers.
But hi, I have it.
So
I
there
have
you
Grand
go.
Inquisitor.
There
Yeah,
it
but
is.
you're not a viewer. You're a host. We wanted to know how many of the viewers, not how many of the hosts. If it's the hosts, it's just you. 'Cause me and Bob don't
Well, I'm
care.
sure they'll check in. They'll watch it on YouTube, or they'll come in and comment and
Comment
say,
below.
yeah, comment below, or come into the Discord and comment that you have Grand Inquisitor or not.
We
So,
really want to know.
and Fatality says that they just took Grand Inquisitor to Relic 7. So there you
There
go.
you go.
Somebody has it. Now it's people. Me.
Yeah, but
Yep.
does
Me and
does
Fatality.
A couple of people.
Fatality care about this ship? Just because he's got the Grand Inquisitor doesn't mean he cares about this ship. He might not care about this ship.
Dr. Feelgood has it. Now it's a trio.
Does Dr. Feelgood care about the ship?
I could tell you, yes, he does. He's already got the red box from what I think I understand. So
Nice.
There, see, look, somebody there, someone there. Nope, I'm someone at 3 million. So it's not even on their radar. Exactly, not even on the radar.
The skate pod's divided.
it always has. Anton says not Grand Inquisitor, but Jabba. I've been rushing after Jabba. We were talking about it in the pre-show. I've already got Chrysanthemum there. I'm now farming the shards 2 refreshes a day for Skiffguard Lando. Once Boosh becomes available, if it's 3 refreshes a day, whether it be Cantina Energy or the node on hard, wherever it shall be. And if it's on ships, I do one extra crystal energy buy, and boom, I've got my 300 energy. I got my farming regiment. You average about 5 shards a day, no matter where, light side, dark side, or ship. If you're doing Cantina, if you do 3 refreshes, you average about 10 to 12 per day.
I need your drop rates.
So
No, I'm kind of just farming. I'm just farming for ships at the moment. The ships that I've got. I'm just trying to get all of the ships that I've got up to 7 stars. And then I'll probably start working on some of the crew for the other fleets. Because if still gonna, I still want the ships that I've got to be good whenever the ship raid does eventually come out. We are going to eventually get the ship raid at some point next year. And I'd like to be able to, have fun with that raid. Unlike, when the Crankle first came out and it was like, oh, wow, I can muster 5 whole characters to go with the Crankle raid that are over Relic
What
5.
is going to be fun for you, though?
Huh?
What is going to be fun for you? Because fun for you may be different from my fun. I would like to have something to figure out like it was the Sith raid. Now, it wasn't fun. I agree. The Crankor, when it first came out, that everybody had to coordinate their attacks and do their damage at a certain time. That wasn't fun.
That was too grindy.
And also, I think somebody's been able to solo phase 1 now of the Crankor. But it has to be a specific speeds and things like that in order to do it.
Yeah, more than likely, yeah.
But that's the only thing you can do.
Yeah, they're just trying to make the ship raid. That ship raid is going to be ridiculous. Ship raid, the ship raid is going to require all relic crew for every single ship in order to be able to score what's necessary to complete the raid and get the shards for whatever because the reward shards for the ship, I still think it's going to be red 5. I still think it's going to be red 5. But that does mean we will need, prior to that ship reward being announced in a ship raid, we would still need jumpsuit Luke. And then they'd have to do a rework so that there was some kind of awesome synergy between Biggs, Wedge, and Luke, and get them renamed Red 2, Red 3, and Red, because it would just be an awesome fleet, and they'd have to be freaking awesome, because they destroyed. That's the team that destroyed the Death Star, for God's sake. So they'd have to be pretty goddamn OP.
And then Galactic Legend Porkins.
Because what happens? What would have to happen is a bit like how Fives sacrifice himself as a clone and then everybody else gets buff. They'd have to rework it so that Biggs does that. So if anybody dies, Biggs sacrifices himself and it makes Wedge and Luke
that'd be cool,
more OP.
That'd be cool.
Zaz says they need to introduce a PvE fight, whether a raid or something else, but the enemies have randomly generated bonuses so that you'll need to study up before choosing a team to use. Basically, you want a galactic challenge version of a raid. If it awards good enough rewards, I'm for that.
Yeah. That sounds cool.
But Nev, I mean, I know you've poo-pooed on all this. As far as galactic challenges and now Conquest go.
Yeah, no, I don't care about them anymore. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'll throw teams in and hit auto. Like the last Sith raid one was quite easy. I just threw in JMK, my JMK cat team, hit auto. It did everything except for a full Sith team. So then I threw in my C. I threw my C team in and hit that on auto and got the match. So I only had to do 2 fights on full auto, and Conquest is always full auto anyway. It's quite nice having JMK as an extra team now. So I've got 3 GLs, and then I've got a decent a Star Killer team and a gas team and a CLS team. So I've got an Adart. So I've got a bunch of teams that I can, oh, that's a tough one. I'll throw that team in. So I've got more close to 100% stamina for autos.
So the drama that has been going on is apparently some people, once again, took to the forums to try to decry Meathead by taking him out of context. There's, he's been, we all know he's been putting red in the forum post. Now Ultra has, added fuel to the fire. But what we're seeing are people that are causing infighting within the group that normally doesn't infight, and it's made a few places a lot more toxic lately, a lot more self-hating. And I mean, you've seen this, Bob?
I'm not sure as far as like the actual SWGOH forums. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
I have no clue.
So somebody posted a screenshot of Ultra and Meathead talking back and forth. And Meathead made a comment about, I thought you guys like to read, or, thanks for telling me how to do my job I've been doing for 10 years.
Okay.
Talking with people he normally talks with, but taking him out of context and saying he's being mean.
I see.
I mean, if people knew the things that we said to each other in voice chat playing Fallout, if they took it in context for here, they would never understand why you're a co-host.
Yeah. And I hate text too, because it's hard to tell sometimes. Even I've taken things that I thought people were mad at me about or something, and really they're just messing with me, right? But you don't hear their tone of voice. So
that's because there is no universally accepted font for sarcasm.
There should be.
There should be.
Yeah, there really should be like a.
But then people will sarcastically use the font, and it ruins the whole thing. That's why you put a open caret / sarcasm close caret.
Okay.
Oh,
Nev, we
lost Nev.
There you go. Just the camera.
We just did a loop-de-loop in the Falcon or whatever we're in.
Punch it, Bob.
No, I didn't know anything about that, but yeah, it doesn't surprise me. I mean, that stuff's happening all the time. So
I mean, for what it's worth, if you are a listener to the show and you feel that Meathead was being mean, take my assurance that he was not being vindictive. It was more of a joke between friends. Please calm down. Let's have some fun. First and foremost, this is a video game.
Yep.
So,
and yeah, I mean, also just like we all know how CG is by this point. I complain about it too, but like we all do just need to step back and remember it's just a video game. And yeah, a lot of us just need to chill out. And for people who truly hate them, maybe just stop playing the game or something, you know what I mean? But I love the game, and all of us do, or we wouldn't still be here.
Yeah, BCM says, I blame Datacrons because they divided the community, and it's really a shame. So,
I mean, ever since Datacrons hit, there's been this gloomy feeling about the game, and it hadn't went away yet. That's for sure. I thought it was pretty positive until that hit.
But then they released Hondo and everything was fine. All was forgiven.
I've slept a lot better now that he's out.
You don't have to
I
hear
don't
me
even-
sing it every week.
I don't even use mine. I don't even use mine. I've found him that it's like he is not he is not a character that you can put on a squad and then hit auto.
No,
just
he's
isn't.
not an auto character. He's
not an auto character.
He's a big
He
brain
sucks.
character. He
He
sucks
sucks
at
on
auto.
auto.
I
He
will
sucks on
admit.
auto.
I will admit Hondo sucks on auto. They need to fix the AI to properly stop targeting the person he marked.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
the AI needs to be squared away for Hondo because he sucks. The AI sucks with him at the moment. It's awful, absolutely awful.
What teams do you use him with?
I've used him on a CLS team. I've in territory battles in Conquest. I used him to slow down the Night Sister turn meter cheese because nobody can gain turn meter. You know, so if you are facing a team that goes off turn meter, use them against Imperial troopers. You'll thank me later.
Mine's I just use it for defense. I've got 4 light side scoundrels, so those are the ones that go with. So he goes with Nest, Bo, Bo-Katan, Nest, Bam, and Karth. No, not Karth. Not Karth.
Canders? I know that's not a scoundrel.
Yeah, no, Karth. Yeah, I think it is Karth.
All right.
So he's on a scoundrels team. It just, I don't know what it does because it's on defense. I tried him on offense, and
Well, he's an offense character. You just can't auto.
Yeah.
That's
you cannot. Yeah, you can't use it. I tried it in Conquest, and it went very, very bad.
Remember, he has to gain the stacks of ransom to be interested in fighting for you, and that's where it becomes fun. All right. The web store launched. Any feedback that you guys have about that?
Crap.
Really?
I can compare it to maybe it's just my experience because every time I load into it, I have to reconnect. Are you guys having that problem?
I do too.
So I don't even log in anymore.
Sorry, log in for what?
The web store.
Oh, I've not touched it once. I have no interest. I don't care. I've not logged into the store once. Not once. I have no plans to.
As far as the store as a whole, I mean, it's okay. Is there any exclusive packs there?
There's energy packs.
Well, the free one is why I wanted to log in and get it, which is, I can't complain about free resources.
And it is free resources.
But I can't. I have to log in and then, get a code. And then I'm just like, all right, I'm not going to worry about it anymore.
Yeah, exactly. It's too much of an arsake for too little a payer. That's why that's why I'm not bothering. I'm not engaging with that with the web store at that level. I do not want to have to be logging on. No, just don't want to have to waste the time on it. I'm not interested in wasting the time on it. So
there's some web store only bundles: 75 shards of Negotiator, 75 shards of Malevolence, and then a bunch of ship prestige. I don't think the ship prestige is worth it, by the way. But if you are paying your way forward in the game, the ship bundle and are both way overpriced, but will save you a lot of time because they're the get two ships.
I think for people that spend in the game, it's a great convenience. Than having to, load into the game and you can see everything all on one page right there. It's in front of you. I imagine so. I imagine it's easier to see the products on the web store than it is to see the products in game.
It is
the in-game store.
It is.
So for people that spend, it's a great thing. I'm free to play though, so that's why I have no interest in it.
The crystals are 5% more crystals for going through the web store.
Let's see, 5%.
Sorry, what? How much?
5% more.
You couldn't
So
do like 10.
you've got the game loaded up in your lap there, Neil. Don't you?
That makes I mean, I've got yeah. I mean, I
so
I
load up the
tried to- I
crystals
spoke-
and tell me how much is
yeah,
in
'cause
a satchel.
I spoke to Crumb about this after the court case regarding Epic. You know, Epic was suing Apple and Google because they did it first, and they lost. But the judge ruled in their favor on one thing: was it's the products for their game. They can sell them wherever they want, and you can't punish them for that. And I asked Crumb if Swuggle was going to take advantage of this. So let's open the store. What am I looking at?
How much is satchel?
Just how many crystals you get in a satchel.
Okay, so a vault is 15,710 for 90.
So you
90 quid.
15,710.
Yeah.
So hang on.
This AI can't do math.
Yeah,
My math-
I need you. I need you to use your thing. So 15,710.
Yeah.
So 790 crystals more. That doesn't even buy you a single stun cuff.
Yeah, no, they need to be knocking either 30% off the price in the web store, or calculating what an extra 30% is and adding that to the product. So if they're going to make people pay the same price without having to give a 30% cut to Apple or to Google, well, it's like, we'll pass that. If they're not even going to pass anything onto the consumer, it's like, well, why? That sucks. So clearly, it'll skew the market. It's like, so if they're not going to pass anything back to the consumer, my advice would be to everybody in game: don't use the web store. That you're being deliberately punked when you make a purchase through the web store, because they're making you pay more for your product than they are someone that's paying for the product in game. Because if you're buying it in game, 30% has to go to Apple or to Google.
Exactly.
So they're not getting as much. But if you buy it in the web store, you're buying the exact same product, but you're putting more money in CG's pockets. So it's like, really, that they shouldn't be rewarded for not, passing on any of the savings to the customer.
And if you want people to interact with that website, you have to make something stick out that makes everyone in the game think, oh, I got to log into that every day. Like, it's not a big hassle, but it is kind of a hassle having to, instead of be on your phone, go to your PC, open up your web browser, connect to it. Like, it is kind of a hassle. So you really got to have something that stands out to people that make them want to go into that every single day.
Yeah, and like I said, it doesn't matter which way they do it. It doesn't have to be the full 30%. They could just do 20%, a 20% reduction or a 20% increase. So 20% of the 17,000 crystals added on top for the same price, you're getting more.
Yeah.
But the reason why they're not changing, I know what their excuse for not changing the prices in the store would be. It's like, well, it's not fair to offer one thing from the web store and one thing from the in-game. And I'm like, yeah, I get that. I 100% get that. So shut down the in-game store or make, that's what, kind of like even it out, so that they can charge less, but the savings go on.
Big Country Mag says you make more with Google points through the game than you do through the web store, and you can claim Google points for crystals as well.
There you go.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. There we go.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's take a break. On the other side of the break, we will talk about the Scythe right here on the Escape Pod Cast.
HotBot in HotUtils is one of the most comprehensive tools for Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes.
With integration into the super useful mod tool Grand Ivory, HotUtils can help you tackle some of the most difficult aspects of the game.
Not sure how to mod your roster for a certain game mode?
Use one of the many filters that automatically assigns the right mods to the right character in accordance with your guild needs.
Now with the digital features that can assist you and your guild officers in territory battles and territory wars, HotUtils is an amazing value.
And don't forget the useful tools for yourself in Grand Arena, like the in-depth and customizable compare feature.
Got multiple accounts like Neil, but not the time to remod them all?
With this one-stop utility, you can switch between your alts and never miss a mod upgrade or a mod switch before locking into GAC or Territory Wars.
Starting at just $5 a month, you don't want to miss out on these great tools.
HotUtils is the new official remodding service for the Escape Pod cast.
Visit HotUtils.com to learn more. That's HotUtils.com. And go ahead and spice up your Galaxy of Heroes experience.
Hey there, listeners. Merchandise specialist Critty K here. Do you enjoy the Escape Pod and want to support the channel and get something a little extra for yourself as well? Head on over to tpublic.com/user/theescapepodcast and grab a Team Neil, Team Paul, Critty Play, or many other fun Padawan designs on your choice of shirt, cup, sticker, mask, or even a magnet. And be sure to check out the Mrs. Anthony Shirts channel on the Escape Podcast Discord and get the latest info on the other designs I make as well. Sometimes there's even a sale going on, so it is smart to stop on by. Thank you for supporting the Escape Podcast.
Podawans, be sure to support the shows brought to you on the Escape Podcast Twitch and YouTube channel by becoming a Patreon. For as little as $2 a month, you can support us and get a little extra for yourself. With tiered rewards including after-show access, inclusion in the GA Center leaderboards, behind-the-scenes access, and much more. There is something for everyone on our Discord server. Head on over to Patreon, that is patreon.com/The Escape Pod, and sign up today. Thank you for supporting and listening to the Escape Podcast.
You're listening to the Escape Pod Cast.
Hello, ladies and gents. Welcome back to the show. All right, Paul. Let's talk about this wonderful ship that only 4,000 people are going to be able to have. So, yeah.
Plus the people that got ready, because he's coming back in December, and it wouldn't be unlocked until December anyway.
So there's 6,000 that'll be able to do it.
Okay, so maybe. Oh wow, a huge number of people are going to be able to get this ship and use it.
By my calculations,
no, it won't take 3 months to unlock it, because ships unlock at 5 stars.
I said 2 because
2,
November,
yeah, so
December. And he's coming back December, so it works. Wouldn't be you. There's another chance at Grand Inquisitor before you have to unlock this. Anyway, it's called the Scythe. Alignment is dark side categories. It's a support ship. It's Empire, Inquisitorius, and unaligned force user. I love how the ship is an unaligned force user.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
But the fact that it's Empire, remember, the bonuses from the Executor also apply to Empire. You could use this in your Executor fleet if you wanted, but it's most made for the Executrix. So, it is a Grand Inquisitor and Fifth Brother ship, so you also have to have Fifth Brother in there. And you get it through Conquest. We only saw a little bit of this ship. Honestly, I think the only thing we did was see it land, right? We didn't see any Star Wars.
We've seen more of the Bad Batch ship, and that still isn't in the game yet.
Father Taylor says that it unlocks at 7-star. We'll double check that. Bob, there you go. There's your job.
Yeah, Bob, check that. Yeah, please check that. Because the last ship unlocked both previous ships
unlocked at 5.
Ship unlocked at 5. So that's why I'm assuming that it unlocks at 5, because all of the other ships unlocked at 5.
So, all right.
But people would kick off. People would be like, so why were those 2 ships 5 and this one's 7? That doesn't make it, Yeah, if they want an easier life, then yeah, they best make sure
because
it
it's that 5. Damn good, Neil. because the ship will be that damn good.
Oh yeah, I don't think so. Yeah, I find that hard to believe.
Basic. Deal physical damage to target enemy and inflict defense down for 2 turns. Gain 20% turn meter. If the ship you attacked was a Jedi ship, the attack can't be evaded. So it's acting like a Inquisitor. When scoring a critical hit, grant a random Imperial TIE fighter foresight for 2 turns that doesn't already have it.
Grant an Imperial TIE fighter.
A.
There's only one. Oh, actually, no. Technically, Vader's is an advanced TIE fighter.
Right, but just the Imperial TIE fighter, not the prototype in the game. We'll get into why it says a random TIE fighter in just a moment. Special 1, intimidating flyover. It waves its arms and goes, woo! No. Special 1, intimidating flyover with a cooldown of 3. Dispel all buffs on all enemies. By taunt. Recover 30% health and protection. Ally Empire ships gain 1 stack of formation for each buff dispelled for 2 turns, and it can't be copied. Formation is an extra 10%, so it can be up to 300% extra max health, offense, and potency. And whenever the ship uses an ability, for each stack of formation, gain 1% turn meter. So you can also get up to 30% turn meter whenever the ship uses an ability. It immediately gives you an extra 30.
Okay.
It has a second special, Predatory Instincts, cooldown of 3. Target ally, so it's a healer, recovers 50% health and gains protection up 50% for 2 turns. The Scythe uses the... I don't know why it's telling us the name of the laser cannon. It must have been watching Andor and giving us detail after detail.
Yeah, giving us details we weren't asking for.
Then the Scythe uses... Actually, it's basic ability. It should just say basic. The attack has 75% critical chance this turn if the target is debuffed, and if it scores a critical hit, inflict fear on the target enemy. So a ship inflicting fear.
Mm-hmm.
That's fun. Which can't be copied, dispelled, and prevented by Jedi enemies if the attack defeats the target enemy and the allied capital ship is Executrix. Target ally gains foresight for 2 turns and inflict all enemies with fear for 1 turn, which can't be copied, dispelled, or evaded.
Okay, so they're gearing it up to go with Tarkin. So it's like, okay, so what do I take off my Thrawn fleet to go on this? Because my Thrawn fleet is 100% Empire at the moment, all 7 ships.
The other Inquisitor ship.
So what do I take off that Empire fleet?
Advanced. Put the advanced. Put the bomber with your Executor, because that's an extra AOE that you can have. That's what I do.
Oh.
Plus all the
we'll see.
Plus all the debuffs. Anyway, the do you have an answer for us, Bob?
I'm sorry?
Do you have an answer for us where it unlocks?
It is 7-star.
Okay.
Yes.
So it unlocks at 7-star, unlike previous ships, probably because it's that damn good.
Stingy gits. That is just bang out of order. For a ship I'm not going to have, like, ever, probably.
Then why are you... Why... Who's twisting your nipples?
The game will be over before the 20-odd month, because obviously, it'll eventually make its way to proving grounds, and I'll get 10 shards every single month. So let's say hypothetically I get enough of them from crates to take me to around 70 or 80 or 90. I'm then going to have to do like 20-odd months of proving grounds in order to get it, because they don't seem to be putting these ships or these characters anywhere else other than proving grounds.
Show me on the doll where CG is threatening to cut off a piece of you if you don't go after this ship.
I'll show you in the DMs later.
Oh, dear God.
I have a picture.
it's this. Nothing in this game is mandatory, as we've come to find out with Datacrons. Because, I mean, they have taken things back before. They took tournaments away. I really, really would love to see them do the same with Datacrons and bring the fun back to PvP and PvP, Grand Arena and Territory Wars. You know, nobody likes to get their crank slammed in a car door because somebody has more money.
Now there'll be a Leviathan chat somewhere. You know, all of the alpha consumers in communication with CG, and it's like, look, you know, if we're spending this much money in the game, we want the advantage. Don't you dare get rid of datacons because we can afford them, and nobody else can. And that puts us at the top. That puts us at the top of the pyramid. We're the top. You know, we demand to be top of the food chain if we're spending all of this money in the game, and that's pretty much it.
And that's what kills a game like this, because they can't. After a while, they're just fighting each other.
Yeah,
outwailing.
Remember the game that you used to play, Guns of Glory or something? Nev? Nev played this game for the longest time, and then it all of a sudden became pay to even play.
Oh, that was Honorbound. That was ages ago. I keep getting emails from Honorbound telling me I can't believe the game is still running. But yeah, no, they opened up a massive chasm between the free to play and the pay to win. They brought a bunch of stuff in the game that you could literally only buy because it was impossible to get it free to play. And then people were like, "Well, I'll just leave then.
All right,
I'll just go."
Here we go. Unique number 1. 2 moves ahead. Allied Empire ships. This is overall. Allied Empire ships gain 20% max health, offense, and 10 speed. If the enemy capital ship is Jedi, Negotiator, basically going against Negotiator here, all Empire gain a stack of formation. Imperial TIE Fighter allies instead gain stacks of formation equal to the number of ally Imperial TIE Fighters. How can this be, you ask? We'll get there. These stacks can be copied, dispelled, and prevented, and are removed at the end of battle or when Scythe is defeated. If the ally capital ship is Executrix, at the start of battle, summon 2 crewless TIE Imperial Fighters. So you can start with 5 ships on the board, Neil.
So it's going to summon TIE Fighters then.
Yes.
Yeah, good. That's what I was. So yeah. So no one's going to care if it's like I said. If you can't have a full crew with a capital ship, it needs to be able to summon something for people to care less. No one cares that there are only 5 separatists because the Malevolence summons vulture droids, and that's why no one cares that there's only 3 separatist ships. Ask anybody. There is not a single person out there outraged that there are only 5 separatist ships to go with the Malevolence. None. No one is. So yeah, this one definitely makes life easier. So yeah, I would throw the gauntlet in there. Definitely, I would throw the gauntlet in there, and maybe the TIE bomber. And then that's it. Just those 3, and then live off the summoned TIE Fighters as much as possible.
Yeah. While an ally Imperial TIE Fighter has foresight, they're also marked. So the TIE Fighters do, draw the fire. The first time an allied Imperial TIE Fighter defeats a ship, all allies gain 100% turn meter.
Nice. So you can run a train on your opponent's fleet, just like the Imperial troopers do.
Bingo!
Yeah.
Why does this unlock at 7-star? Because it's that damn fun. Reinforcement. Inflicts speed down which can't be evaded on Jedi enemies for 2 turns. If the allied ship is Executrix, inflict fear on all enemies for 1 turn. And summon 2 crewless Imperial TIE Fighters. It's 3 ships in one. But wait, there's more. No, there's not more, but this is a ship that is going to give new fun in GAC, which you ask why I love my ships so much. You can't put datacrons on ships.
Don't give them any ideas.
Anyway.
Yeah, they'll do something at some point.
No, it doesn't sound too bad. But like Neb said, I probably won't be getting it anytime soon because I won't have.
Yeah, no,
but it sounds cool.
It's seriously not. It's not on the radar. It's just not on the radar. The only reason why I'm farming for the Inquisitors on both my accounts at the moment is because I'm collecting tickets for either an Ultima or I'm collecting tickets for a GL, and they've got light side and dark side. You know, I'm just anything with a light and a dark side farming node. I'm just farming it for the sake of farming it. I was doing the same thing with the Bad Batch when I was farming for C. You know, it's like farming them for the sake of farming them. So I'll have them at 7 stars, but wanting to take them all to Relic 5 and then having to do that awful Inquisitor event. Because it's an awful event.
Okay, then don't do it.
It's a boring.
Who's twisting your arm to make you do this?
No. I'm. No one's twisting my arm. There's no incentive. That's what I'm saying. Is there's little incentive other than this ship, and the fact that every other. What is it? Every other challenge. You know, the meme. It's 1 week of one thing and then 1 week of Inquisitors and then 1 week of another thing and then a week of, well, obviously now they've thrown the Hut Cartel in there, haven't they? The
Hut Cartel and Inquisitors.
Yeah, but the Hut Cartel isn't as much of an issue. It's not like the Inquisitors because a lot of people already had Hut Cartel characters because they did a lot of changes. They did some tag tweaks.
Right, but note
characters
this
already in the game.
But note this, what happens is when you use those characters, it's not as easy to get the extra things like the thermal detonators. And unless you have ungodly Jawas, you are not getting the thermal detonators. You know, if you have run DMV's Jawas, maybe you can do it.
I'm not suggesting, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that it's possible to get, that final crate, that red crate. It's not. But you can use I use one big team at the back, and then I think I do like tier 7 because I've got a couple of Relic and a couple of Gear 12 Hut Cartel just through tag changes, So I throw them in, hit auto.
Yeah,
does the job.
All right, let's take a break. Thaddeus dug up as much lore as he could on the other side, to give us the best story time that you can about a ship that has very little lore. But did we mess up anywhere, Bob?
Just the 7-star thing.
All right.
We got you. So good job, guys.
There we go. All right. Bob, we're going to shut you down. But I'll tell you this. Your doppelganger is going to be here in just a moment as we talk to
Bones is here?
Yep, Bones is here. We're going to talk to Bones, Flair, and Sephiranus of the Escape Pod cast, Marvel Strike Force Edition, and get into all of that right after these messages right here on the Escape Pod cast.
HotBot in HotUtils is one of the most comprehensive tools for Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes.
With integration into the super useful mod tool Grand Ivory, HotUtils can help you tackle some of the most difficult aspects of the game.
Not sure how to mod your roster for a certain game mode?
Use one of the many filters that automatically assigns the right mods to the right character in accordance with your guild needs.
Now with additional features that can assist you and your guild officers in territory battles and territory wars, HotUtils is an amazing value.
And don't forget the useful tools for yourself in Grand Arena, like the in-depth and customizable compare feature.
Got multiple accounts like Neil, but not the time to remod them all?
With this one-stop utility, you can switch between your alts and never miss a mod upgrade or a mod switch before locking into GAC or Territory Wars.
Starting at just $5 a month, you don't want to miss out on these great tools.
HotUtils is the new official remodding service for the Escape Pod cast.
Visit HotUtils.com to learn more. That's HotUtils.com. And go ahead and spice up your Galaxy of Heroes experience.
Podawans, be sure to support the shows brought to you on the Escape Podcast Twitch and YouTube channel by becoming a Patreon. For as little as $2 a month, you can support us and get a little extra for yourself. With tiered rewards including access to Shitty Bill's Arena tracking bot, after-show access, inclusion in the GA Center leaderboards, behind-the-scenes access, and much more. There is something for everyone on our Discord server. Head on over to Patreon, that is patreon.com/The Escape Pod, and sign up today. Thank you for supporting and listening to the Escape Podcast.
Back to school. The Escape Pod, cast for kids. It's really cool.
Hello there, Podawans, and welcome back to Storytime with Uncle Thad and the Escape Podcast for kids. Tonight we're going to look at the latest ship that comes to the game, first seen in the television show Kenobi. Today we are going to talk about the Grand Inquisitor's support ship, the Scythe. Now, there isn't a whole lot of lore surrounding the Dark Side ship, so I'm gonna have to do some deep exploration of what we do know in order to learn more about this latest ship. So let's talk about the Scythe and where it fits into Star Wars canon. Piloted by the Grand Inquisitor and crewed by his power-hungry minion, the Fifth Brother, the Scythe is a powerful new Imperial support ship that flies under the Imperial and Inquisitorious tags. Initially located as a Conquest reward unit, the Scythe is a powerful support ship that is going to make the Grand Moff Tarkin's capital ship, the Executrix, great again. As you probably know, each member of the Inquisitorious was once a Jedi. What you probably don't know about them was that they were not very liked as Jedi. They always obeyed the rules, and when anyone ever broke a rule, they narked. They were always early to class, and they would point out those who arrived tardy, who tried to sneak in when the bell rung. They were notorious suck-ups, and as such, they weren't very well received as students or peers, but they always wanted to be liked by the other members of the Order. As I mentioned, they did these things because they wanted to be liked by their fellow Jedi. They wanted the other students to take notice of them for their skill and drive. Granted, they went about it the wrong way, but it didn't make their efforts any less. The Scythe is a perfect example of their desire to be liked and noticed. This impressive Imperial ship was equipped with twin laser cannons and a functional hyperdrive. When landing, its big black wings folded skyward. The boarding ramp was located on the bottom of the ship. If we take a look at the Lego set by the same name, it appears that the actual canopy could open up completely. The ship's front visor could flip skyward, and the two doors would open, exposing the interior of the cockpit. What's interesting about this is this operation could only open during flight, which seems like a huge design flaw. Imagine your visor and your canopy just like goes up while you're traveling at light speed. Doors then open up, exposing the interior of your cabin to space. This is a spaceship. This doesn't make a whole lot of sense to do while in flight in space. Doing so would only lead to death. So this might be why we don't see many members of the Inquisitorious. They might have tried to open up their canopy during flight. Sure, it makes sense to do something like this if you were trying to clean out the cockpit because, I don't know, there was like blood and guts and stuff. That makes sense. But during flight, that's a design flaw. But with that, let's go ahead and look at the Scythe's abilities in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. The Scythe's basic ability is an interesting one. It does defense down and gains turn meter. This is essentially what happens to any student who tattles in school. They lower the defenses of those they tattled on, and they seem to be emboldened by it to do it again. The Scythe's first special ability is what happens when they enter the classroom after other people are already there. This is something they didn't like to do, as I've mentioned before. But imagine the scene. People are sitting in their chairs, waiting for class to begin. They're talking, they're laughing, they're having a good time, and in walks a future Inquisitor. They stop talking, so the Inquisitor doesn't overhear them and narc, because that's what they're going to do. Narc. This ability just shows how much people didn't like the Inquisitors. The ship's second special ability hints at how the members of the Inquisitorius act at school. They are always on the lookout for an easy target, trying to find people careless enough to slip up in front of them. What's unique about this ability is that it highlights the first time they work together with like-minded people. You have to remember that the Jedi Order wasn't divided between cool kids who were always getting in trouble and future Inquisitors. Most members were just normal Jedi, learning the ways of the Force and trying to help other people. Some of these naive Jedi were eventually tricked into helping people like the Inquisitors ruin the lives of other Jedi. Take Scythe Odious, for example. He was one such Jedi who was duped by someone who could have been a future Inquisitorius. The Scythe's first unique ability really shows us that once these fallen Jedi became members of the Inquisitorius, they never flew alone. They were always followed by two members of the Imperial fleet who wanted to suck up and ruin lives as much as they did. The final ability of the Scythe is actually one that makes sense to anyone who's ever watched a horror movie. When you are surprised, you start to get scared. When you get scared, you begin to fear. When you begin to fear, you are inflicted with speed down for 2 turns. That's just, that's normal, right? We are all familiar with how that works. Well, that's it for me today. Stay tuned next week for more story time with Uncle Thad on the Escape Podcast for Kids. Hello friends, this is Thaddeus from Going Nerdy, and I approve this message, and am compensated for signups for this service.
The world's largest audiobook library is at your fingertips, and the Escape Pod Castaways wants you to try it for free. Head on over to escapepodcastaways.com and click the Going Nerdy offer button to claim a free audiobook and 2 Audible originals. Cancel anytime, and it's absolutely free to sign up. Check out Audible and support the Escape Pod Castaways. All for free. See Audible website for details. Restrictions may apply.
Hey there, listeners. Merchandise specialist Critty K here. Do you enjoy the Escape Pod and want to support the channel and get something a little extra for yourself as well? Head on over to tpublic.com/user/theescapepodcast and grab a Team Neil, Team Paul, Critty Play, or many other fun Padawan designs on your choice of shirt, cup, sticker, mask, or even a magnet. And be sure to check out the Mrs. Anthony Shirts channel on the Escape Podcast Discord and get the latest info on the other designs I make as well. Sometimes there's even a sale going on, so it is smart to stop on by. Thank you for supporting the Escape Pod Cast.
Attention, we are receiving an incoming transmission. Attention, attention, we are receiving an incoming transmission.
Is Seth.
Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the show. It's incoming transmission time with more Escape Podcast people. Paul, you need to explain this to everybody because there's a lot happening on the screen right now.
There is, and I threw this scene together in OBS, so it's not exactly perfect. But from top to bottom, ladies and gentlemen, you know them as Bob on the Escape Podcast. And he is a very, very good friend of ours, and we love the fact that we get to do a little bit of a crossover here. Bones88 on Twitch. Bones, how you doing?
Good. How you guys doing? Thank you for having me on.
Doing all
thank
right.
you for listening to our endeavor, which we'll get into more. But go ahead and introduce the other homies.
Yep. Underneath Bones, we've got a very, very long time listener. I believe you've been here since the very, very beginning of this show.
Almost, but yes.
And a very good friend of the show as well, that always has something fun to say in the after show, but also loves the game that they're going to be talking about here in just a moment. Ladies and gentlemen, Sephironis.
Thanks for having me.
And last but certainly not least, one of the early producers of GA Center and a very, very trusted member of the Escape Podcast family.
Co-founder of GA Center.
Co-founder of GA Center. Yes. And he is you can see him on
sued.
Gaming.
Don't want to be getting sued by him.
Gaming Embers on Twitch. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Flair to the show.
Howdy, man. I am just like popping all around here last little bit, aren't I?
Yep.
It's good to have you back.
When did you go for standing room? When did you go for standing?
Huh?
The fact that you're standing.
Yeah, I'm standing.
Yeah. Well,
all over the place.
It gets tired very, very quickly.
Oh, I can do this for about an hour.
I tried the standing one. It gets very tiresome very, very quickly.
But ladies and gentlemen, the reason why we want to have these guys on to talk to us and to you guys is because every first Friday of the month is scheduled to be what you have grown to know and love, the Escape Podcast Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes edition. But starting this month, starting next week, the second Friday of every month will be the Escape Podcast Marvel Strike Force edition, where they will cover Marvel Strike Force.
Yep, that's right.
So,
yeah, we whenever you said bi-weekly, I was like, man, even before I was part of the show originally, I just look forward to the Escape Podcast every Friday. And I was like, man, I'm sure other people felt the same way. I've already been nudging you for a side podcast, anyways. And I just thought it was a good idea. And Seth said something in the chat. I was like, yes, he knows exactly what I'm talking about. So me and him started just saying things in chat and snowballing ideas.
I get tagged somewhere along the way.
Yeah. Yeah. We tagged Flair, and I thought Flair would be perfect because he had just been on the show, I think the week before, the TEPc SWGOH show. And he was talking about MSF and everything. I was like, yeah, it just makes sense. And so I thought, there's not as much news going on with SWGOH these days except Datacrons and us complaining. Marvel Strike Force is a great game. It's also similar to SWGOH. There's a lot of the similar players. Some play both at the same time. Some have played it before. You know what I mean? So I just thought it'd be a good way to grow TEPc in another direction. I get to talk about things I love. I get to have my own podcast.
You get that you're going to have to talk about Marvel Strike Force, right? You're going to have to talk about Marvel Strike Force for 2 hours, right?
Every other
30
week.
minutes of which, every other week, 30 minutes of which needs to be with a guest. Are there enough, so you're going to have to, find other content creators that play Marvel Strike Force.
Yep. I said we're going to follow the same cadence and everything.
Yep. I believe in these guys so much that if they let me down, I do have all of their addresses. Just saying.
Who's your first guest going to be then?
We've got Mr. Gigabachi.
Are you going to get Mobile Boomer?
Not yet. We're gonna work up to that. We're gonna get established.
You're not going to get Mobile Boomer on as
not
a guest.
Yet. They're not yet. But you'll like who it is.
You're our key into that, by the way. But we got Mr. Gigabachi
on and stuff like that. Those names.
He doesn't play anymore.
I think he quit like over a year ago. Jeez. Yeah.
Yeah. But no, we got this, Nev. We got this, buddy. But yeah, Mr. Gigabachi, a great friend of this channel. Also, I've been talking to him, and he'd actually been reaching out to me about MSF. He said he'd been recently playing it. He's going hard on that game too, very quickly. So
I thought Mr. Gigabachi was still going quite hard on Fortnite.
He's playing World of Warcraft. He doesn't stream MSF yet. But he's been playing it, but that's his game right now. So I thought he'd be perfect. I just happened to have been talking to him for the last few weeks about it anyways. And yeah, I thought he'd be the perfect one. And
yeah, you'll definitely have to get him on. Is he who you're planning for your first guest? Is he?
Yep. Yep. And I got a couple more on the back burner too. So yeah.
And a couple of my guildmates run the Marvel Strike Force Infographics Discord server, and so we're working on maybe even having them on as well.
And that's a huge source for MSF community. I use it every day.
Is that like SWGOH.gg?
Is that like, yeah, I was about to say, is that like SWGOH.gg, is it?
Not that epic.
No, it's not an APK kind of compiler. We do have that. It's actually just gotten integrated into the actual game itself.
So they adopted it into the game itself?
They did. They actually took possession of the software for MSF.gg.
Hopefully through a financial. Okay.
Yeah, the guys that run the site.
Because taking acquisition is totally different there, Sam. And working for a legal system, you know this.
That is fair.
So they had hired the guys that run MSFGG, and they started the process of integrating. So that's one of the things that we're wanting to talk about pretty soon. It's like, hey, Roster Sync finally just got onto the website. And for anyone that does management or anything like that for MSF, holy crap, that is like the thing we've been dying for, because you guys in SWGOland have had it for God knows how long.
Yep.
But no, so the infographic server is very similar to Heinz's infographics for events back in the day for like gas, things like that. So it does a build out of what characters you want to put maximum effort into, what do you want to put for ISOs, what team order you want to put them in, who's the one you need to gear first.
Remember, this is the SWGOH show, so you'll have to explain what the heck all these little things are.
We will.
Yeah, that or
well, no, I'm talking about right now. You say ISOs.
Right, you don't have to explain squat during your show, because people watching your show are going to know exactly what you're talking about, but nobody knows what you're yammering on about now.
So team order is so much more important in MSF than it ever has been in SWGOH. Besides who assists first,
because there's no leaders either or mods in this game.
Well, the ISO 8 is the mods version, but it's a flat stack, so you don't get variance between each one. They give you a flat percentage amount for what you put into it. So it's important to set your investment level for those characters. You don't want to just max everybody out.
Well, like how we're also working towards what's essentially our first main GL kind of character in MSF with Apocalypse.
That's what Thad and Storytime is going to be covering for us on the MSF segments, is the road to Apocalypse.
Yeah, which is to mention, Thad's going to be doing it for both still, but he's going to do some story time for us too. So I thought that was pretty neat. I'm excited to hear that stuff too.
You're welcome.
Absolutely. Thank you.
But Thad's going to give you lore on Marvel characters.
Yes.
Oh, he's doing story time. He is doing all of the story time. We've given him a library card, and he's checking books out every single day, and he's doing lots of reading, and he probably doesn't like the reading.
And Nev, if Thad needs a week off, I'm sure your knowledge of Marvel.
No. I'm just gonna, I'm just going to roast that if he gets any of the lore wrong. That's all.
and Nev, you're welcome to come on there too, man. Whatever.
No, I'm primarily a DC guy, not a Marvel.
Oh, then you are not welcome there at all.
The moment they release a Marvel UK character, this man is going to show up.
As soon as they start putting Marvel UK characters into this game, I will play it again.
That all of 5 people, including Nev and a grandmother somewhere.
Flair, we've discussed this. That's still people. People want this character.
I guarantee you, if they put Death's Head 2 in the game, your whales would wail out on that character.
But it's gonna happen. They have so many obscure characters in there. It's an amazing game.
Exactly. There are obscure regular Marvel characters in the game. And the Death's Head 2 is not an obscure Marvel character, and it's a Marvel UK character.
What's his name?
Death's Head 2.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it doesn't even have the original Death's Head in it yet, which is just nuts. There are more obscure characters than Death's Head.
Well,
you know,
even
Intergalactic Death's Head, right? Death's Head is the answer to DC's Lobo. He's an intergalactic bounty hunter. That's what Lobo was for DC, an intergalactic bounty hunter. You know, that's what Death's Head was for Marvel. He was, you know, it's a bit like
I mean, they have an intergalactic bounty hunter. His name's Cable.
Yeah, he's in there.
No, but yeah, but he's supposed to. No, Death's Head is a much better intergalactic.
I have never heard of him in my life.
And much like,
I'm sorry, Death's Head would eat Cable for breakfast. There's no contest there.
Only time I hear about this guy is from Nev. So
I've never heard of him.
Go ahead, Seth.
Wanted to talk about obscure characters. Marvel Strike Force has 3 completely unique to the game characters. They did it before it was cool with Swordy and Swaga, because we have Kestrel, Deathpool, and Spider-Weaver as our 3 unique characters.
And they're cool. Like
and they're awesome.
I would like to see comics of them. So they do a great job.
Oh, they probably already.
So
putting them
part
out.
of the deal with making that was that they get to help create the stories for those characters in comics.
Yeah,
that's part of the deal with that. So there's so much stuff that happens with this, and here's the thing: is that both games, Marvel, like MSF and SWGOH, are doing a lot of similar things, but also very different. And so we get to explore the differences.
Here's the fun thing: Marvel owned by Disney, Star Wars owned by Disney.
What? Really?
All of this goes to the mouse.
The better question is, when is the mouse going to be in either game?
He has his own game, Flair.
Disney Sorcerer's Arena. We already
did it twice.
Arena.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe he's already in there. We just don't know it.
And anyone knocking your door down to do a Disney Sorcerer's Arena podcast? Paul?
No, nobody's.
Didn't think so. Didn't think so.
Is anyone even streaming? The last guy I thought I saw was Cozy. Is he even doing anything anymore for DSA?
I don't know. I know
he got deep into Marvel Snap. I know that.
That's really big right now, but I haven't played it yet.
And seeing Dylar getting into Marvel Snap as well has been really fun.
Yes.
So you need to get him on the show.
I'd like to try the Snap, but I'm just waiting off until they bring some Marvel UK characters in. Like that's all.
It's a one-trick pony. These Marvel UK characters.
Yeah. Don't care. Hey, excuse me, but the Marvel UK run from the Marvel UK run from the early 90s and the mid 90s breathed life back into Marvel. It did. It breathed life back into Marvel. Okay, it just did. All right.
I just want to point out that he's making sure it's Marvel UK. Why don't they just graduate to the overall Marvel umbrella?
Because they should do, because Marvel UK used a bunch of just regular. They used the Avengers. They used the X-Men. They used Fantastic Four. They've put them all. They've done some really, really great crossovers. Some really, really great crossovers.
So is this Captain Britain? Is that who's part of that? Or who's Captain Britain? Isn't there a guy named Captain Britain?
You mean Captain?
Yeah. He's one of the. You got Captain Britain. You got the Knights of Pendragon.
Well, it depends on which Captain Britain you're talking about, because there's like 4 different Captain Britons.
You got the characters. You got the Motorhead characters. You've got Kill Power. You've got Motormouth. You've got Dark Angel.
I mean, I've heard rumors that they're trying to bring Captain Britain in. I don't know about all the other ones, but
I mean, the thing is, it's like AIM has been in the game since the beginning, and Marvel basically said to Marvel, "Yeah, sure, you can use AIM for whatever you want." So they did. There's Evelyn Necker. She's a great character. I mean, she's bad, but
the whole MODOK comes from AIM.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it just a surprise that they didn't do more with AIM, because everything that is AIM would be kind of like you've got like synergies in Marvel Strike Force, right?
Yeah.
So, a Death's Head 2 character would have synergy with everything that was AIM because it was created by AIM.
And that's what the game needs, is because the aim is trash. So he needs to be like a Mon Mothma aim or something.
Hearing of MODOK coming in soon.
If they brought Death's Head 2 to the game, they have to have the reveal with Neil. I'm just saying.
Well, we're gonna.
Death's Head 2 is like his Hondo.
Okay.
That would make me boot the game back up on my phone straight away.
I was just going to ask you if we get involved to it. We'll campaign for you, but you have to come play the game.
You campaign. I just said I've been saying this to Flair for 2 years. You know, if that character comes to the game, I will immediately take the game back up again. Immediately take the game, just because I will want him. Just to play that character, just for the funsies.
Try to use that character in every single game mode possible.
Would it be possible to? Is it possible to use one character in every single game mode?
There are a handful, but
yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, besides specific campaigns, that's it.
Yeah.
So
I'm okay. So go ahead.
Well,
Paul.
I was
Sorry.
just going to flip
I would simp
this
on him like I simped on Mara.
I'm going to flip this around, because normally when we have people on, everybody knows, everybody should know, that's listeners, these guys, through Galaxy of Heroes and what we've done. But since they're going to be talking about their game, why are you so qualified? We'll go down the line. Bones. Why do you
them first?
Nope.
I'll talk all day. So,
who are we starting with first?
I'm starting with Bones. I'm starting with Bones here.
Okay.
Why are you qualified to, take TEPc and blend it with some MSF?
I always thought of it like a spin-off, like a Bob spin-off, I guess. And so I don't know. I've been doing it for a while. You've got me more acclimated to the podcast thing. I'm not nervous as much as I used to be, and I'm more comfortable throughout things. And so I was like, and like I told you, I've been trying to get you to I don't know. I just keep throwing ideas at you for the last 6 months. So
you wanted to work together.
Yeah, get something to stick. And I know the channel. I know what kind of things that you expect the channel to be like, and I think I thought Seth and Flair would also be. They also understand. They've been around long enough.
Yep.
They get what you guys want out of this channel, and I love this channel. You've done so much for me, and it's But you
don't have to suck up. You already got the job, Bob.
I know. But it's just something that I am passionate about, and this is a good way to get it done. So you guys have good connects, and you are able to get it set up very quickly. I can't believe how fast we got it done too. But
Seth, over to you.
The big thing is, after I did Talking Kenobi with you and Thaddeus, it helped me realize that that's the kind of show I wanted to do. Not just, be on my own streaming alone, having somebody with me to talk with and go through content is perfect. And MSF is a rich ground. We get weekly blog posts. The mods are all over the place. And even if not, you can always just go through Reddit and go look at the salt mine. There's a lot of content that's constantly churning.
Or the latest bug of the week.
That is true too. The bug of the week might actually be its own sub-segment.
So I'm just going to say this, because don't let the salt over-flavor your food that you bring to the show. That's why I look at Galaxy of Heroes Reddit and I go, and then I'm doing the show.
I like your comments in the Facebook groups too. I always see you popping up in there.
Just slightly sarcastic, but okay, you get the bunch of people that post their own screenshots of them verbally abusing EA staff and expect us to give two rips about the fact that they didn't get their 50 crystals. Flair, question over to you.
I mean, so we talked from the production side of it. So we start off the top. It's like, okay, GA Center.
Production, and I'm going to go through that.
Did this? We've been here, but then it's on the MSF side. It's been, oh man, I've been playing this for a couple of years now. I posted in our little chat that we've got. I hit 20 mil and like
balling,
huge.
That's a big deal. Yep.
So like from that aspect, and then doing everything I do for my alliance, I'm an alliance leader. So having to manage all that stuff and keep track of everything, it's like, okay, what broke today? what's all happening. All the info is just kind of sitting here already. So it's a great place to just kind of vent it out and talk about it and get some other people going on about it. And hopefully people enjoy hearing the ramblings of people who spend way too much time doing spreadsheets.
So this yeah, I know spreadsheets quite well. So I mean, this is why I brought you guys together. You know, Flair the production guy, Sephiranus the excellent knowledge guy, and Bones. I mean, you're one of the best. You're one of the best color people that I know when it comes to having fun and talking from the heart. Right. And that's why when the three of you said, "All right, let's do it," I gave it a thought. I thought about it for a week and ended up throwing you all in a DM and said, if you're serious and you can commit, let's do this.
And here we are.
It was like it was meant to be, though. As soon as Seth put it out there, we talked for like 5 minutes. I was like, this is it. I just knew it was going to happen for some reason. I just did. So, but I mean, just to add to just kind of saying random things, like MSF is trending in the right direction, which is up. And unfortunately, SWGOH is kind of going in the wrong direction. And
to some.
Yeah, I was gonna say that people would say differently.
Yeah. But remember, that's people.
People, yes. Okay, people. Okay, well, my opinion. That's how I see it.
There you go.
Let's say it that way. And there's so much to talk about. They're releasing brand new what's the cadence, guys? Is it like 3 characters a month or something?
It's something 4 a month.
And we're entering into the winter patch, which will probably be 5 or 6.
It's insane. And there's always something to talk about. And that's another thing when you said like, well, why do you think it's like a good, topic to make a podcast about? There's probably more stuff than we can even fit into a 2-hour podcast. So I think it's just going to be easy.
Well, good. You have 4 hours in a month.
Especially considering it's going to be every other week.
Yeah.
So
right. Yep.
We've got plenty of time. So it's not like we have to scrape a bottom of a barrel or anything like that every single week. It's every other week. So it's not like we're going to get stale on this. You guys have time for SWGOH.
And there will be a break. You guys won't do it Black Friday. You won't do the show on Black Friday. So your guys' next show, you're actually going to, we're going to switch it up a little bit in December. You guys are going to take the 1st and 3rd weeks. Neil and I will take the 9th and the 30th because, we're not going to do Christmas Eve when everybody's on a plane anyway.
Right.
So.
And I need a big screen on Black Friday, so I'm glad that's working out.
Yeah, you don't worry about doing that Black Friday. And dude, I mean, you pay my gas, I'll wait in line for you.
All right, let's go.
You don't have the Fulcrum Yule log ready for Christmas Eve?
We'll see. See. No, but what you got as far as questions for these guys?
Why isn't Death's Head 2 in the game yet?
Oh my god, okay. I'm trying to involve in the announcement here.
I mean, you could always ask about
why isn't there a GAC in Marvel Strike Force?
There is.
Yeah, there is.
Cosmic Crucible.
A GAC, and how long has that been around?
Is it like
season 1?
We're about halfway through season 1 of it.
So it's literally only just been released.
Yeah, it's been in for about 4 or 5 months now.
You just said season 1.
Yeah, they
did a long preseason.
That's right.
Test it.
So they did a long test phase.
Yeah,
and it's got really good rewards. I mean, it's arguably.
So what's the format like? How close to the GAC SWGOH format is it?
It's not very close. It's not as fun though.
I don't know. I like it.
So it's an enhanced GAC in the end. So you'll still set your defense. It's less teams. I think it's 7.
It's 6 teams.
6 teams.
6 but teams don't you in each room. You get 3 attempts,
and
you get 3 hits.
And you get your own. You get all your characters back.
You get so whatever you sit on defense is locked away, but everything else is offense. Yeah. So it's exactly it's like GAC in that sense. What your defense is your defense.
Yeah.
Everything else is offense. You get 3 attempts per room, and it's a point-based system, just like the other one. And you get scaling rewards based on how you do in that season. It's kind of Swiss, so it's best out of 3.
And there's cool buffs too for your defenses.
Yeah. So there's like global buffs for the entire season that boost certain character traits. then you have individual rooms that do different things.
All
So,
gambits on deck or something? What?
Well,
right now it's all global mutants, like hero mutants.
Yeah.
So any hero mutant character gets to remove a buff and do extra damage and all this other crazy nonsense. Then in a specific
so it's a
room,
Datacron everybody.
Hey.
It's a Datacron everybody gets.
Yep.
And so you don't have to worry about, oh hey, I didn't get this roll. Oh hey, the buff is just there. Period.
And it's offense and defense, so you can trap people by putting something.
So why do that? What's wrong with the squads that people can't just put together? You know, it can't just be your squad against my squad. Why have they done the buffs?
I don't know. It's
Make
probably
it-
just to change it up, I guess.
Yeah, it's to help fix
and
the
a lot
vanilla.
of it's the AI as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it's understanding that not all of the defense AI works in the same way as a normal human would. So hey, they give a little bit of an extra buff, but many of the buffs are both ways. So it's not like at that point it's, hey, are you playing the right teams against them? Did they not pay attention to the room buffs and just have an awful team on defense that could have been much better? There's a whole lot of layers to it.
Well, I'm sure you guys will explain all of this when it comes time. The show will be on this channel, Escape Podcast on Twitch, and will be posted to your Spotify. Each episode for the Marvel one will have a different episode cover, so you won't get confused and go, who the heck is this guy? Where's Nev?
Crikey.
How long have you guys been playing? Every single one of you have been since beginning, right?
No.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, this is where we pull up our days
See,
played, boys.
my account on my phone was a day one account. See, my
I
account
think I'm the highest collection power of the three of us.
You are.
Yeah, I'm 20 mil.
All right, well, let's go through
I
and kind
stopped
of tell
playing
our
at
history.
6. I stopped playing at 6 mil. You remember we were doing the show, and you were talking about Marvel Strike Force Flare, and I was like, let me fire up my account and see where it's at. And I went, it's 6 mil, and you went, yeah. If you ever start playing again, you're probably going to want to start from scratch. And I'm like, no game is going to want to make me start from scratch.
6 mil is pretty good. I mean, it's a good starting point, I think.
Was it? I feel like it wasn't 6. I'd have to remember what we talked about.
So you can't remember.
Yeah, so
that's how
days
poor your memory
played.
is, Flair.
Let's see here. I'm at 946 days.
How many days for you, Bonesy?
Well, how do I find it?
Go to your
It's in your profile. Or your achievements, yeah.
Achievements?
1,000 and something. I just crossed 1,000.
Well, all I
last
see is
week.
my total collection hero power is 13.8 million.
So yeah. So there's your collection power, and then go to your achievements and go to days. Look for days played.
Where's achievements? Oh, I see. Okay, gotcha. I've logged in 1,380 days.
Okay, so almost a full year. Bones had a head start on you guys, but you're both close. Since near launch, you guys have been playing.
Well, here's my thing: is I played at launch, but I've taken 2 6-month breaks of this game at different times. So
I've been playing pretty much every single day for about 2.5 years. So
Nev is showing everybody that he's thinking about downloading it again. Oh, he is downloading it.
I'm just gonna put it back on the phone temporarily, just so that I can show you how long I played it for and what it's at.
My achievements actually told me a different number. I'm 1,211 days, and I'm 17.5 million.
But Flare has been the shortest amount of time, but the biggest power. This is going to be a great
That's
show.
the power of wallets.
Are you guys aquatic? I'm guessing. Are you aquatic?
I'm a minnow.
Okay.
I am a minnow.
I have gone from little guppy to big whale to back to dolphin to kind of I'm swimming in many waters.
But that's another thing I like about this game is they have packs for everyone. There's something for everybody at times, and not all the time. They're always changing,
and not everything is for everyone. The same thing that I say for Swaga. So why don't you guys stick around? We've got a new episode of Dickie and the Noob coming up in just a moment. Yes, brand new episode. And we also reveal the identity of the mysterious person. You definitely want to check that out. Coming up.
Who could it be?
And oh, by the way, guys, why don't you stick around? Let's do some Patreon's Choice on the Bridge together.
My favorite. Let's do it.
Sounds fun.
All right. We'll be right back after these messages right here on the Escape Pod. Why don't you say it?
Cast.
HotBot in HotUtils is one of the most comprehensive tools for Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes.
With integration into the super useful mod tool Grand Ivory, HotUtils can help you tackle some of the most difficult aspects of the game.
Not sure how to mod your roster for a certain game mode?
Use one of the many filters that automatically assigns the right mods to the right character in accordance with your guild needs.
Now with the digital features that can assist you and your guild officers in territory battles and territory wars, HotUtils is an amazing value.
And don't forget the useful tools for yourself in Grand Arena, like the in-depth and customizable compare feature.
Got multiple accounts like Neil, but not the time to remod them all?
With this one-stop utility, you can switch between your alts and never miss a mod upgrade or a mod switch before locking into GAC or Territory Wars.
Starting at just $5 a month, you don't want to miss out on these great tools.
HotUtils is the new official remodding service for the Escape Pod. Cast.
Visit HotUtils.com to learn more. That's HotUtils.com. And go ahead and spice up your Galaxy of Heroes experience.
Podawans, be sure to support the shows brought to you on the Escape Podcast Twitch and YouTube channel by becoming a Patreon. For as little as $2 a month, you can support us and get a little extra for yourself. With tiered rewards including access to Shitty Bill's Arena Tracking Bot, after-show access, inclusion in the GA Center leaderboards, behind-the-scenes access, and much more. There is something for everyone on our Discord server. Head on over to Patreon, that is patreon.com/The Escape Pod, and sign up today. Thank you for supporting and listening to the Escape Podcast.
Dickie's House of Dickie, this is Dickie.
Dickie, we have a problem.
Oh, hey, what's up, Paul?
Look, I'm not sure what's going on with your segment, but it's affecting the whole show. You need to get control of this.
Yeah, I know. We're having issues over here, too.
Issues? Thaddeus is now addicted to the smell of chloroform. Bob is speaking in tongues. I walked into the cafeteria the other day, and Neil was drinking coffee. Coffee! Dickie, I asked if we were out of tea, and he said no. He wanted a cup of coffee.
Ooh, that is pretty disturbing.
So, what are we going to do about this?
Well, I'm sorry. I really have no clue what's happening here. We're victims, too.
And you have no clue who could be doing this.
I mean, I have theories. I mean, surely we've met our fair share of scoundrels and homicidal droids over the past year, and, well, I hate to even mention this, but I had Yarmo run some tests on Noob and found a strange file that Yarmo said was just sitting there like it wanted to be found.
Do not click on that.
I think if we want to get to the bottom of this, we have to. It's called HotUtils. Does that mean anything to you?
Bosk? You think someone has sent Bosk after us?
No, I don't think so. It's spelled BOSX.
Wait, so HOTOBOSK?
No. SX.
8 letters.
That's correct.
Starts with an H.
Uh-huh.
Ends with an X.
Oh, wait, I see where you're going with this. You think we have like a Ghost in the Machine type situation?
Maybe, but didn't you also run into another version in the multiverse? Could you have opened a door you possibly shouldn't have? If it's him, we have to click.
All right, well, I had Yarmo put on this USB key, so rather than fry my laptop, the noob, I guess. It seems to be calling out. It's asking me, do we want to admit mysterious stalker to the call? I guess. Here goes nothing.
Remember, the 5th of November, the Gungan treason and plot. I see no reason the Gungan treason should ever be forgot. The only verdict is grappling the governors. Grievous is gone. Gungan gunfire granted him guidance to the Great Gorge, yet glory is not granted to the Guardians. Grit, a gift granted to to a grifter from a game from a generation gone. A guardian was given guise over a group, granting gate to gesture with gusto. A gambling gonk, grown from the genius of geeks, and not gems of the galaxy of Gorge. Grains growing gainfully while ghosts of glory remain gilded in the ground. Our day will come. There is no death, only sacrifice.
Is that it? It's over? Well, that was pretty creepy.
Well, that was not very nice.
Wait, you're not a recording, so this is live?
No, this is a recording.
Okay, whatever. What's with all this cryptic stuff, dude? If you have a beef, just come at it straight. I can't help you if I don't know what you want. Besides, the QR code that led you to the Lake City, the Gungan treason, I know it's you, Jar Jar.
Jar Jar. It's always Jar Jar with you people. He is the reason no one takes the Gungans seriously. We banished him, and he still haunts us. I mean, seriously, we defeat the Separatists over and over again. They 3 full squads, but we can't get a single one because of Jar Jar Binks.
So, you're not Jar Jar?
No. We have one of the coolest armies, with giant boombas, glowing shields, catapults, foombas, flumbup sets, bombard shields, not one single Gungan in the game. Yet we get a full team of weird flying bugs who did nothing but get slaughtered in battle. I defeated Grievous in battle.
Oh, wait, you're that general guy. Oh, what's his name? Paul, help me out.
Is it Goose?
That's it, Goose Marbles.
My name is a Ruse. Ruse Tarples. I died one of the most heroic deaths in all of Star Wars, sacrificing myself to save the Naboo, and no one even remembers my name. The dum-dum who sat 20 feet away and watched it happen with a goofy expression on his face. Everyone remembers Jar Jar Binks.
Look, man, I'll admit you make a pretty solid case, and those boomas are really cool. But really, why us? What can we do for you, Goose?
It's a ruse. Misa watched all these characters are coming to the game. Characters who's barely known. And still, not a single Gungan in this game. Misa be caring about me soldiers and wants to be seeing them. Get the respect that he's deserving.
But again, why us?
What Misa seeing was that you did for Hondo. And Misa think you used to help out the Gungans.
Count me out. I just got out of a long-term relationship with a cause I thought I'd never win, and I'd like to enjoy the spoils of that.
Well, I'm not sure what power I really have here, but me and Noob do kind of need something new to do. I'll tell you what. If Noob and I agree to find out who decides what characters make it to the games and bring you to him, do you agree to stop messing with our ships?
If you're helping the Gungans, Misa beings most grateful. Oh, no. I'm not setting off on another wild goose chase.
Whoa, don't say goose, Noob. That kind of triggers him.
Oh, and another thing. Did you think they're going to have an episode without me? Huh? My name is in the title.
Of course not, Noob. Here you are. Yay!
Uh-huh. I'm not getting out of this, am I?
Nope.
Fine, let's find out who picks the characters that get into the game. But this had better not lead us into another season finale showdown with Mickey frickin' Mouse. I mean, whatever his name was. It's already been done.
You're listening to the Escape Pod Cast.
Hi, welcome back to the show, ladies and gents. It's Patreon's choice. Do we have questions?
We do have questions.
Okay, this will be interesting.
Zaz gave us quite a few here. We're gonna be quick about this one. If you don't have 3, say so. Move on. Just go off the top of your head. No Googling. Here we go. Number 1, top 3 Clint Eastwood movies. Gran Torino is one of mine. I also quite enjoyed him in Planet of the Apes. I mean, that's probably hopefully going to be everybody's. And then No Country for Old Men. Who wants to take it next?
Planet of the Apes. That was Charlton Heston, not Clint Eastwood.
Okay, there we go. I didn't have Bob here to tell me I was wrong.
I was even thinking for once, Bob would have been like, I don't think that's right. Because I don't ever know. But I think Dirty Harry, The Good, the Bad, the Ugly, and Gran Torino.
All right.
The trilogy. A Fistful of Dollars, A Few Dollars More, and The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. It's a brilliant trilogy. Well, right, A Few Dollars More wasn't as good.
Seth.
Let's go with $1 Million Baby and Gran Torino. Although he was director for Jersey Boys, which was something I thought it was fun. I mean, he wasn't in it, but he was the director.
All right. Flair?
To be quite honest, the only movie of those that anyone has mentioned is Gran Torino that I actually know that he was in. So I know the actor. I don't know anything he's been in.
All right. Number 2, top 3 people you think would play a good James Bond. For me, Bumper Car Cumberbund would be great. I would have to also say I would have loved to have seen older Roger Moore come back as Bond. But you know what? Instead of an older Roger Moore, why not bring in Sir Patrick Stewart?
Ooh.
Now, no, for me, it's Idris Elba. Idris Elba would make the best one because he's just he would make, because he's done movies where he's got the action hero kudos to be able to pull off a James Bond. All right, we've seen him in that all action hero type role that would be best suited to it. It's no different from, if you've got a martial arts movie, you want actors with a little bit of martial arts experience, because trying to train them from scratch is a bit of a pain in the arse. So Idris Elba's got the stunt training and the green screen training and all of that. So it's just easy.
We got to be quick though, Neil.
Okay. Idris Elba. No, there doesn't need to be another 2.
There doesn't need to be another 2. All right. Bones.
I completely agree. My number 1 was Idris Elba, Henry Cavill, and I guess maybe like the guy who did 300, who was Gerard Butler. I guess he'd be all right.
Gerard Butler could probably pull it off, actually. Yeah. No, Gerard Butler could definitely.
And I like him, but his movies are so terrible. So we got to get him into something good.
Seth.
I'm actually going to throw out a super spy, Colin Firth from Kingsman, and Matt Smith from House of the Dragon.
Love that guy.
No, Matt Smith, he's too scrawny. He's not.
Oh, come on. He could bulk up a little bit.
I don't care how good an actor he is. He just doesn't have the physique to pull off Bond. He doesn't. He's too thin and wiry and scrawny. He couldn't do it. Couldn't do it.
Flair.
Something that popped in like literally just in my head, Kiefer Sutherland.
Oh God.
I was like, that would be an idea. Idris Elba, of course. I'm trying to think, like I was thinking like Kingsman, if you had taken like Taron Egerton, like I liked those movies, that series of movies that he's in. I was like, you know what, if he was aged a little more in that Bond role, I'd actually be kind of okay with it. They were campy, kind of weird movies.
All right, Leo DiCaprio movies. We're gonna go backwards. Flair, you start.
Oh gosh, you're starting with me.
I'm starting with you on Leo.
Romeo and Juliet.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. Thank you for at least mentioning that one.
Yes, Romeo and Juliet's a movie that popped out to me. Inception. Oh gosh, I had to look it up way earlier. He voiced the character in Django Unchained.
All right.
It was oh gosh, what was he? It was Calvin. Calvin Candle.
He didn't just voice, but yes.
Yeah, he was in it.
I was thinking it's something different. Okay, yeah, no, I was thinking it's something different. I was like, wait, what? Yeah, but no, he's in Django Unchained, Wolf on Wall Street. I haven't seen.
There you go.
Oh, you stole one of mine.
No, he didn't, because he said that it was. He mentioned that fourth. So Wolf of Wall Street. What else you got, Seth?
Titanic, obviously. As a kid, that was what I grew up with. So that's really the major. Those are really the two that I kind of come to mind as repeatable value for Leo, for me.
Okay. Anything else?
Not off the top.
No. All right. Bonesy.
The Departed. Great movie all around, and lots of big name actors. Inception and
he was also in The Quick and the Dead in his youth, during his youthful years. You know, he was thrown into movies because it was like, oh, you know, we want chicks that think he's hot to watch this movie because it's that bad, despite the fact that it had Gene Hackman in it. You know, it was a Sharon Stone movie, and it was like, yeah, you can put Gene Hackman in a movie, but it's like you need to put the cast around him to be the cast around him needs to be awesome in order for Gene Hackman to be awesome, and it just wasn't. So
who else you got there?
I'm just gonna say, never me.
I mean,
go ahead. I don't know what's going on.
Nev?
I'm good.
Anything else?
No. There's no other movies I can think of note that Leo's been in. So
Basketball Diaries, and also Catch Me If You Can.
Catch Me If You Can, with Tom Hanks. That was a funny one.
Those are the two I'll add on to there. Wolf of Wall Street was my third. Next up, Morgan Freeman movies. Flair.
Oh God, this is easy. This
I
number one. So
for me, I grew up with the Batman movies. So anything he was Lucius Fox in, I greatly enjoyed those.
Okay.
So that's all three of those. I don't want to consider those the Fallen series of movies. So London Has Fallen. That was one of the ones I remembered off the top of my head. Oh God, and it's anything that he's the voice of God. Let's just be honest.
Bruce Almighty.
Anything
Lego
he's
movie.
the voice of God for.
Seth.
Yeah, I was gonna go with Bruce Almighty and The Shawshank Redemption.
Shawshank Redemption's number one. He's got to be right there at the top.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be, because it's him narrating a film that he's in, and he's just got one of those voices that, you know, it's like, I mean, South Park famously took the mickey out of him. It's like, you know, when we need someone with gravitas, we just bring Morgan Freeman in to narrate it because he's got such a good voice.
All right.
And that was it.
Bonesy.
Lucky Number 11, I think it was called.
11, yeah. No, it was called Lucky Number 11. He was a bad guy in it.
Great movie. I gotta say Bruce Almighty. And the buddy comedy where they both have cancer, Jack Nicholson's in it, and they do a bucket. Is it called Bucket List?
Bucket List. You took my number one of his.
Yeah, I'm on it tonight.
Yeah, but
I think the movie Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves also needs special mention.
Was he in that?
That's an old movie. You know, that's 30 years old. That movie.
Huh.
And there also was one from '89, Glory.
All right, so is that your list now?
Yeah.
Okay.
We've talked about
All right.
Too many people.
So seven is also.
Oh yeah,
one.
that was a good one. Yeah, he was good in that. Yeah, very good in that.
What's in the box? And then I mean, I'm very, very, very surprised that nobody mentioned Invictus.
Never heard of it.
Okay.
That's because most people don't bother with rugby movies, you know.
All right. Natalie Portman movies.
Star Wars.
Episode 1, episode 2, episode 3.
Yeah. Star Wars.
So one that, and I imagine everyone's going to say Star Wars here. The other one that I can remember was V for Vendetta.
Yep.
Yeah, she was good. Yep. Yeah, she was good as Evie. I was watching V for Vendetta yesterday. I'll watch it again tomorrow because it's compulsory watching for British people to watch V for Vendetta on the 5th of November.
If you ask me to remember anything else that she's in besides that in Star Wars, God help me.
Well, what about
Thor?
The fact that she's
Leon.
in Thor?
Leon.
I think that's everybody's 3, right? V for Vendetta.
I have
Star
one
Wars,
more.
and Thor.
You got one more. Go ahead, Seth.
The Other Bowling Girl.
Never heard of it.
It's the one about King Henry VIII.
Yeah, period drama movie. It's not everyone's cup of tea.
All right.
And what's it called?
The Other Bowling Girl. She plays Anne Boleyn.
Okay. I'm sure my girlfriend's watched it. She watches all those.
Yeah, it's
All
a
right.
chick flick. There's if the only way that you watch that movie as a dude is if your girlfriend dragged you to watch it.
Two
And I've
more.
seen them all.
2 more questions here. Last one from Zaz. Sigourney Weaver movies.
Oh God, Sigourney
Alien?
Weaver. Sigourney Weaver. Alien.
Ghostbusters #1 for me.
Yeah, Ghostbusters. Yeah, Ghostbusters. Alien. Oh yeah.
Galaxy Quest.
Oh shit, that was brilliant. 'Cause that was so funny because it was like, oh, Sigourney. Never thought of you that way.
She also
I've
turned into
always
really
because you just think of her as like, badass boss bitch sort of thing, and then all of a sudden she's this soft, fluffy,
and then Alien.
push up bra woman in that movie. But yeah, Alien definitely.
Then Alien. Bonesy.
Avatar, Alien, and Holes.
Okay, Seth.
I was gonna say Avatar and Alien.
All right, and Flair.
I had to look up because I was like, who are we talking about? So like none of those are recognizable to me straight away. Like I have to look in it and be like, oh, she was this person. Okay.
Well, that's because you're younger, but that's
Bloody
fine.
millennials. You just don't know anything about culture beyond 1999. It's ridiculous.
It blew my mind when I found out I was a millennial. I didn't even know it. I used to make fun of millennials, and they're like, dude, you are one.
You are one. Yeah, exactly. Making fun of yourself.
All right, and last question, given by our by a very, very fun Patreon by the name of Flair. Favorite RPG games? Let's go 2 each. Flair, why don't you kick us off since it was your question?
Oh, it was my question, wasn't it? Oh man. Okay, so I want to throw in a Final Fantasy game in here, but I have to pick one, and that's a problem. The one that I put the most.
You get 2.
Yeah, but I want to pick one from that franchise.
Oh, okay.
There's so much to it. People don't like it, but it's the one that I dumped the most time into. Final Fantasy 3.
Oh, I love 3.
People
Go,
didn't like it for
and-
when it came out. The other option for me would have been 15. 15 was divisive for a lot of people as well. People either didn't like 3 because of all the job class stuff with it, or they loved it because of all the job class stuff. I liked it.
I absolutely loved it. Final Fantasy for me, I'm gonna jump in. Final Fantasy Tactics.
I never played that one. I have a
Great
ROM.
game.
I have a way to play it.
Yes,
I'm saying that.
you have access to it. Plus, I think it is. I do consider it
Get
abandonware.
yourself a handheld, mate, so you can play them all the time.
I do consider it abandonware as far as the GBA port goes, because it was a different story and they haven't re-released it. And then my other RPG, Fallout. Insert
Of
number
course.
here.
Hey.
Seth.
My very first RPG was Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2. And then
culture.
And then I wouldn't be able to get away without mentioning my wife's favorite RPG, the Dragon Age series.
Those are fun.
Bonesy?
I'm doing 3 just because I want to. Elder Scrolls, but mainly Oblivion is my all-time greatest game I've ever played in my life. Fallout, of course, and all Zelda games. All the Zelda ones are fun.
I feel like I'll addendum. I'm throwing a J in front of one of mine. Persona
JRPG.
5.
Okay. And which just got released on Games Pass for Xbox.
PC Game Pass. You bet I gifted 2 subs to get access to it for 3 months for free. Heck yes, I did.
Tell everybody about that, Paul, because that's a pretty good deal, actually. Do you know what we're talking about?
If you gift subs on Twitch, you get it 3 months free of Xbox. I think
you can sub and then you can gift a sub, and that counts as well.
Yes.
Can you use that on a PC?
Yes. It's
so
Xbox
PC
Ultimate.
Game Pass.
Oh, I thought it was Ultimate. I thought it was Xbox and PC.
I think it's just PC Game Pass.
Okay, but still, I mean,
it's 3 months for free.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's a good deal.
Darknar says Wizard's Crown in Baldur's Gate. Nev, what you got?
Shining the Holy Ark on the Sega Saturn.
I heard Shining. Yes.
Yep.
Shining Forces 2 is one of my first ones I played.
Shining the Holy Ark on the Sega Saturn is just
never played
really, really, really good.
Shout out to an RPG that came out of nowhere, but the Subnautica series. That's considered an RPG of sorts.
And then, of course, you also have Mist and Ribbon of those types as well. So,
yeah.
All right. So, each of you talk about your Twitch channel, and then we're going to wrap it up here. Bonesy, you first.
Twitch.tv/Bones88.
With a Z.
Strike Force. Yes, with a Z. Marvel Strike Force, SWGOH, Star Wars Galaxies. I'm bringing it back, boys. That's about it.
Twitch.tv/Scythe Gaming. We're actually going through a full remodel, working with the guy who actually helped Biscuit Weasel redo a retool of his channel a while ago. So looking to have a full relaunch of the channel soon.
All right. And Flair?
Twitch.tv/Gaming Embers. Variety content all the time. We are now mainlining the Trails franchise, which is like 12 games long. The full JRPG series. It's a lot of stuff. And then Destiny and Marvel Strike Force and other stuff.
Yeah, and you get to wake up with Nick Cage every time he streams.
Nev, what do you got coming up on the channel? Some more Runes of Magic, or
I have no idea at the moment.
No,
the Runes of Magic 300% bonus event finished. I was able to grind my way at level 62 on my main.
Nice.
So I was very, very happy with that. So I'm just going to leave that now and grind my priest up to
Star Wars Galaxies
to 60. But Bones, what I've looked, it doesn't have the legs that like KOTOR does. Or
have you played it? Have you played it before?
Huh?
Have you played it before?
He's played every.
I've only played Galaxies for the 14-day trial on the disc that I originally got back in 2013, and I didn't. It didn't.
Just come by a stream. I'll talk you into it.
It didn't hold me long enough.
Well, you have talked him into playing Runes of Magic, so it's only fair that he tries to at least get the chance to talk to you.
That's right.
Vault 37 Studios, within the next 2 weeks, by the time you see me, hopefully there will be some more Jackbox Mondays possibly coming back. I'm going to be talking with Boulder Doobies, who is a supporter of the show, just to make sure that I don't step on his toes. Maybe we can do it together. We'll see.
Yes, Doc, no.
And so we appreciate every single one of you. Thank you for all the support these past few months. You guys are amazing, and we look forward to the next chance that we can get together. Tune in next week for episode 1 of the Marvel Strike Force show on the Escape Podcast. Nev, anything else?
No, we're all good to go.
All right, be nice to each other, damn it. Who wants to say it?
Hit the button.
Don't mind if I do.
What's going on? Where the hell are we? Paris?
Thank you for pressing the self-destruct button.
Attention! This is Colonel Sanders in forward command. Abandon ship! Abandon ship! All personnel proceed to escape pods. Close down the circuits. Evacuate the city. Self-destruct mechanism has been activated. Abandon ship! Where is it? Where is it? It's gonna be here. Out of order! Even in the future, nothing works.
This ship will self-destruct in exactly 10 seconds. Counting down. 10, 9, 8, 6.
6! What happened to 7?
Just kidding. 3, 2, 1. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Hello, friends. This is Thaddeus from Going Nerdy. The Escape Podcast was filmed in front of a live studio audience full of tweaked out murder bears.
Sit, Ubu, sit. Good dog.